मिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। So welcome back to the second session. So today we'll talk about what is the cleansing mechanism. There's no screen? Okay. So we'll talk about the cleansing mechanism in Ayurveda and yoga. Okay. So how do we form a disease? I used one term yesterday. Any of you remember? By which we get diseased? I had used one technical term for getting diseased. It's called Prajna Aparada. Okay? Prajna Aparada. Remember this. It's very interesting. So Prajna means consciousness. So basically you get diseased when your consciousness goes down. Right? So you eat things which are not meant for you. To live a lifestyle which is not Ayurvedic. To live a lifestyle which is not prescribed in the yogic scriptures or in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Okay? So if you live a lifestyle like that, surely you will get diseased. In Ayurveda there are 7 stages of a disease. Okay? And you can prevent or reverse the disease till stage 5. Like you have different stages of cancer. And similarly we have different stages of disease. So basically even committing sin, in Ayurveda the disease is a result of sinful reaction. Right? So what is it called? Purva janma kritam papam vyadi rupena pidyate. So if you have committed some sinful activity, then it comes back as some disease. Right? So that is why you need some prayers also. Okay? Because it is a manifestation of some bad karma. Okay? It's some bad karma. So how do you get bad karma? So Krishna is time. Very interesting. So Lord is time. Now if you do not value time or you misuse time, okay, you are actually abusing or not making utilization of what Krishna has given you. Okay? And every time is meant for something. Like we see, even in Krishna Lila, there is Ashtakali Lila. Everything is meant to be at a certain time. Right? So similarly, we are all meant to have a time for wake up, right? Time to eat, time to sleep, everything. Today is when we were in college, we used to be awake at night and sleep during the day. Some of you must have seen that, right? Students, they don't care. But is it healthy? It's not healthy, right? So, if such a lifestyle is continued for a long time, what happens? Your body undergoes literally irreversible changes. Okay? It can undergo irreversible changes. So, once you have a stress which is continuous, which damages the body, and you take it beyond a certain point of time, then it causes a severe health issue. Okay? So, for example, what is reversible? Okay? So, in the first stage, it is said of a disease, in the first stage, you first begin with imbalance, like the dosha. Okay, aggravation. We call it aggravation of dosha. For example, how many of you eat late dinners? 1, okay, 2, all right. Now, don't you feel heaviness the next day? You feel, right? But why do we eat it? Kind of the timing is adjusted, whatever, right? We may have 101 reasons. Once you see the symptom that it is imbalancing you, if you do not take corrective action immediately, it goes to the next stage. First there is slight aggravation, imbalance, then there is major aggravation. For example, those who eat late continuously, your belly bloats up. Okay, your muscles weaken. Okay, many people say blood pressure, right? Blood pressure. What is blood pressure? The pressure that your body needs to move the blood is the same. But your cell walls, your muscles become weak. So then when they measure your blood pressure, it goes high. The pressure is the same, but your cell walls are weak. You feel it more. For example, if you have a cut on your hand, somebody touches that same part, is the pain more? Right? Because the cut makes it susceptible. Okay? Cut makes it easy, susceptible. All lowercase, okay. I will just join the Zoom link. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. So now we are live. All right. So, okay, I got this. So, if you continue, so same thing with the tendencies. Like when I was in my first semester of my engineering, at the end of the first semester, usually at the end of the first semester there is a party, right? So many young people from villages who are doing engineering, for the first time I saw, they went to drink, right? So everybody has a tendency. Just like you go to any home, like if you go to your in-laws' house, what do? They feed you like anything. Eat. Right? Huh? So, but is it a good thing? No. Right? Or yes? You're not sure. We just eat. so, especially in marriage parties, like there is so much. So the point is, eating more has been equated to kind of happiness in one sense. Okay, eating more, having more. Whereas the principle of yoga states, one should not eat more than necessary, one should not collect more than necessary. Agree? Yes? So that once you have more, there is a aggravation, there is a problem, there is a serious problem. Okay? So this is a tendency. For example, what is cancer? I explained this yesterday. What is cancer? Cancer means, right, so your body is supposed to recycle your cells every 21 days or so. Okay? Your cells are generated, your bone marrow generates fresh blood. Okay? Then that blood absorbs oxygen, brings in oxygen, circulates in the body, absorbs carbon dioxide, throws it out of the body. Okay, right? It does its normal cycle. After its lifetime is over, what happens to that blood cell? It should die. Right? It should die and it should be cleansed from the body. Okay? Now, what if it is not cleansed from the body? It just sticks in your body. It doesn't go out. Your cleansing mechanism is not good. So what happens? Cancer. It accumulates. It accumulates and it becomes a tumor. Okay? So we get, when something is excess, when something is aggravated, when something is imbalanced, that is the process of disease. Similarly, sin. In Ayurveda, eating too much is a sin. In Christianity, did you know there is a word called gluttony? Have you heard the word gluttony? Glut, eating to the glut. Right? Eating to your neck. That is considered a sin. I was like, gluttony is a sin. Like gluttony, adultery, like these are the words. Right? I was thinking, what is gluttony? He is a glutton. He eats till the neck. Then I realized, why is it a sin? You know why is it a sin to eat till here? Your food doesn't digest, first of all. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika it is said that how should you eat? Okay? It is said one should eat half mitahari. He is called mitahari. Right? We are called atyahari. Overeaters. Right? If somebody is undereater, that's a different term. So mitahari, brahmachari. One who is celibate, one who is disciplined. Mitahari, brahmachari, tyagi, yogi, parayanaha. Bhujyate Shiva samprityehi. Here Shiva represents Bhagavan there. One who eats for the pleasure of the Lord. We eat for the pleasure of? Husband eats for the pleasure of? Okay, not sure. Wife first. Right? She should be happy, right? So when she makes, you have to accept that the food is good. Huh? So mitahari, brahmachari, tyagi, yogi, parana. It is said your half when you eat. The ideal eating should be 50% of your physical belly. You should eat not more than 50% of your belly full. More than 50%. More than 50%, what happens? Your belly begins to fill up. How many of you are in the yoga class today morning? How many of you are there? Okay. What did I emphasize? What was the most important part? Breath. Right? The breath, the prana. Your digestion also depends on, after eating, how deeply can you breathe? If you eat till the glut, you cannot breathe. Can you breathe? So what happens to the food? It becomes Bhagavad Gita as it is. It doesn't digest. Okay? It doesn't digest. It remains there. So this is the thing. So breathing oxygen is when your food begins to digest. Your Agni, fire, just think of that. Fire is blown by air. Correct? If there is no air, what happens to the fire? So the prana, in fact in South India, when we eat food, if the food is not offered yet, you can offer the food by 5 grains of rice. Om pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, samanaya swaha, vyanaya swaha, udanaya swaha. You don't taste. You put it directly in the throat. Okay? You put it directly in the throat. And then you directly offer it to the prana vayus, because the prana vayus are Vishnu. So if you eat too much, according to the yogic science, you are abusing the prana vayu. The prana vayu gets squeezed. So your prana reduces. Earlier it did not strike me so much, but now when I look at atyahara, you are actually overeating. It's actually squeezing the prana vayu, and prana vayu is Lord Vishnu. Isn't it overeating? Isn't it an offense to the body? Right? Yes? No? Occasionally pizza is fine when you overeat, or cake. But actually, if you overeat, you look at the level of the imbalance. So you are actually directly disrespecting the Agni, you are directly disrespecting the prana vayus of Lord Vishnu. Okay, so it has a spiritual meaning. So your habits itself can be totally imbalancing. Okay, you should eat according to your hunger. You should never overeat. Okay? Alright, so this is the aggravation part. So now what has happened to your body when you have disease is that you have some level of aggravation and some level of what you call as whatever doesn't digest, it becomes ama. What is it? Ama. So morning I had some teas there, right? Ama detox tea. Ama. So first thing in reversing a disease begins with detoxification. Okay, so that is why some people do fasting. What happens in fasting? There is Akadashi fasting. Correct? So Akadashi is the day where we are supposed to eat French fries. What else? Sabudana vada, sabudana khichdi. Is it true? It is not meant to eat anything practically. So Ekadashi day is the day, according to Ayurveda, when your digestion is at the weakest. When the position of the moon make your digestion weak. On that day, if you eat excess potatoes, right? Or sabudana, even sabudana is very high in sugar, by the way. You are raising your insulin level so high, your sugar level so high. So instead of getting the benefits of fasting, right, you are getting the benefits of potato. Right? There is no benefit in potato, by the way. So we are wasting a day. Okay? But your fasting begins the previous day. I know one devotee, I knew, and he said, tomorrow is Ekadashi, so he used to get psyched out today. So he'll have a big dinner. Prabhuji, I'm preparing for tomorrow. Okay? But what happens when you overeat? Your sugar level goes high. Okay, next day, your insulin level goes high. When you are overeating already, that insulin stores your food and you want to eat more. Have you seen that? You eat heavy, you cannot fast the next day. The more heavier you eat, the more you want to eat. Okay? So what happens? So next day I saw that as soon as he woke up, he was hungry again on Akadashi because he ate previous night. So it is said in Akadashi, you are actually supposed to begin with fasting the previous night. Cleansing the previous night. So if you fast the previous night, what happens? Your toxins begin to reduce. Why do you become hungry all the time? So some people say, oh, how many of you eat every now and then? Be honest. Right? So did you know every time you eat, you have an insulin spike. And it takes 4 hours to come down. Okay? The more number of times you eat, you are having so many insulin spikes, eventually it becomes fat. The biggest danger of modern day is the snacks. Right? We have so many snacks available and everything with sugar. Correct? Everything comes with, you go any checkout aisle, any shop, any supermarket. All you see is sugar and white flour. That's it. Yes? Bubble gum, chewing gum, this gum, chocolate, syrup, candy. Everything is sugar. Is there anything healthy? They don't worry about your health. They just want to see you happy. Right? You put some chocolate, you become happy. Kids. So, what is happening is the snacking, one of the things, in Ayurveda there is nothing called snacking. It's only about discipline. So if you are not disciplined, okay, so what happens? Your insulin is always high, your liver becomes fatty. So Akadashi to new moon, Akadashi to full moon, these are two wonderful phases of fasting. Okay, Akadashi to new moon is the weakest digestive time of your body. If at that time you eat very light, very healthy, or even if you're not fasting on Akadashi, if you take light foods, okay, it gives you so much benefit. It detoxes you, heals you, your mind becomes very clear. But if you eat too much at that time, you actually increase your toxin levels. Okay? Ekadashi to full moon, it's said you should have a lot of herbs and energetic foods because full moon is energizing. In fact, the quality of your digestion depends on the moon. Moon is Soma. Your physical body is a manifestation of the power of the moon. So physical body, Kapha, is Soma. The Agni, the digestive fire, is Surya, sun. That is why when the sun is there, your digestion is active. Right? India, there is a new trend, midnight snack. Binge eating on midnight, right? Everybody knows this. So there's a new trend now because they give home delivery for everything. But when you eat midnight, basically, your human life is over. Okay. Huh? So, the Surya and Vayu, Marut, air, is your prana. So, your prana is literally expansion of Lord Hanuman. Soma, your physical body, expansion of moon. So, that is why the moon affects your body. Have you heard the term lunatic? Lunatic. You know, lunatic means what? Mad person, right? I have seen lunatics. So in my college, my next room next room guy. So every full moon or new moon, he used to go crazy. He used to close his door and go outside, come outside in a towel, and he used to bang his door. Open the door, macha, open the door. He was like, everybody's like, he's only outside. Then he used to go to the college in a towel. We had to take a jeep and like kidnap him and bring him back. So his parents, actually he became a devotee. Then he got better. So that is in Vata. So this is also some ghostly influence. So in Ayurveda there is also room for ghostly influence, negative in case. Okay. So this person, I saw that if you look at lot of studies, I looked at lot of papers in lot of studies. So I'm preparing the ground before I show the presentation. So what happens is when you have too much accumulation of kapha, pitta or vata, the aggravation, the moon phases combined with that, you become fully, your aggravation results in something. So suddenly we experience aches and pains suddenly. Right? One day you are suddenly sick. For example, fever. All of us have fever. You know why we get fever? Because Dr. Fauci, Infection.
When the body fights the infection, it
Correct. Body raises the temperature because at that temperature the germs will die, the bacteria will die. But if it goes beyond a certain point, your functions will cease. So you are fighting that, right? So basically your body is fighting something. So your energy of your whole body is engaged in fighting that bacteria. So your digestion is weak, so you eat very light. You see? You see the logic? So similarly, when your body is imbalanced, your body is always trying to do the balance. So that's why when I do the Ayurvedic pulse check, you are checking which dosha is trying to correct itself. When you do the Ayurvedic pulse check, you are seeing which dosha has aggravated, and then when you go to the deep pulse, so when you do the pulse, so there are two levels, the surface level, and then I press down to see the deep level pulse. Okay? And then I'm actually seeing what is imbalanced right now. So body is getting ready for lunch. Okay? Hunger. Anyway, I'm just saying. So you go to the deep pulse and you see which dosha is getting correction in your body. So if your kapha is aggravated, for example, your physical body, you have overstrained. So underlying your body is trying to correct itself with vata. Okay? So it goes that way. So your body every cell is very, very intelligent. Every cell is very, very intelligent. In fact, I was amazed by that book, Origins. How many of you have read it? I don't know. So in ISKCON, that was the first book that I read, Origins. So if you read it, in that Swarup Damodar Maharaj explains that every cell in the body, in your body, is actually an Atma. Okay? So although you are the Atma, your body has many mini souls residing within you. Every cell is self-sufficient. Every cell has an input system, digestive system and an output system, just like a full-blown being. But it's in the smaller stage. Jivo jivasya bhojanam. So everything you eat, there are millions of bacteria. So technically everyone is non-veg. Technically. Right? But we don't eat the higher animals with higher consciousness. Technically there is nothing called vegetarian in one sense. Right? It's there. Everything. Even when you scratch. In the scriptures it is said, even when you scratch, you kill bacteria. So those who are aware, they don't even scratch. But that's too much. Right? If you look at Jain Munis, they follow kind of that lifestyle. They don't eat at night. All these different things. But it's very difficult to follow. So that's why for Grahastha, there is so many relaxations. There are so many relaxation given. Right? Still we eat pizza. And pasta with the relaxation. Okay. We try to give it more. Like when I give diet plan, when I do Ayurvedic consultation, so a lot of people have diabetes, health issues. So I say, Prabhu, don't eat this, don't eat this. Once in a while, is it okay? Just once a week. So I'm like, okay, you are trying to get rid of the disease, or you are trying to play around with it. Right? Something is a no is a no. Right? So when you get diseased, the certain things the body has a reaction to, karmic reaction. So you are not only fighting some disease, you are also fighting karma. Right? So when I was severely suffering with diabetes, I told to myself, and when I read the Yoga Rahasya, that a disease, you can treat it in one way, you can treat it in two ways. One, you feel depressed. My God, am I the guy to suffer? Why should I suffer? There's so many people who are doing so much wrong. They are okay. I got so much. The other way to look at it is an opportunity to elevate your consciousness. And that's what I took it as. It's an opportunity to improve your sadhana, to elevate your consciousness, to be more disciplined. It's a challenge. 1 year I did not eat grains. Okay? That was a game changer. I realized you can live with so much less. Okay? It was such a game changer. So we have to see. So that we are able to balance. We have to first detect. So Ayurveda's first step is to see what is aggravated, what is imbalanced. You have to see the root cause. Okay? And then you have to reverse from that point. Okay? So doshas, Agni, all that we talked yesterday. You have to see what is weak. But in general, there is a prescription. If you get into a good routine, discipline, pranic balance, you are able to reverse any disease. Okay, now let's go to the presentation. Any questions so far? Yes.
Prabhuji, I heard they recommend eating multiple times, little. Is that not recommended in the Ayurveda?
Actually, there was that doctor, holistic doctor, who was also very famous, millions of views on YouTube, every video. And there are a couple of them, I know. And they used to recommend like that. But ever since there were scientific results, scientific tests conducted on intermittent fasting, then they found that this methodology is very dangerous. Exactly like I told you, you eat little, but your body doesn't react. Whether you eat full meal or half meal, it reacts the same way. It raises your insulin to the full extent, as though you are eating a full meal. Okay, your insulin is raised, especially when you eat grains. Okay, so that's why I say morning breakfast, don't eat grains, don't eat cooked food in the morning. Okay, that is the most damaging thing to the insulin levels in the body, especially for diabetes. Today everybody has literally pre-diabetes. Okay, every other person. The other person is waiting to be the other person, but every other person is diabetic. Okay. So if you look at it, morning you should never have the cooked food. So then what happens is, once you eat, once your insulin raises, so then 4 hours it is like that. So all your organs, that means all your organs are like, like at the border, like India-Pakistan border, they are always fully, stressed, tensed. Then after 4 hours they get relaxed. But suddenly then you put something in between that, then again they have to raise the insulin. So you are having a double cycle. So instead of relaxing the body, you are stressing the body. Then your insulin level continuously remains high. So many people do fasting, many people do so many diets, they never lose weight. I have had so many people who said I've tried to lose weight last 20 years, I've tried this diet, that diet, nothing worked. Nothing. Because they don't understand this simple principle. That even if you eat little, but if you eat multiple times, your insulin goes high and that's it. You can't balance it out. So you have to eat at regulated time and foods that don't raise your insulin high. So that's why I recommend morning you have fruits. Okay? No cooked food. So that's why in our book, I gave out some books in the morning. I have some more left which I'll get tomorrow. So, and I have our ghee. Yeah. So if you take fruits, nuts in the morning, they raise your insulin, but not so much. It falls quickly, fruits. Lunch you let it raise, you have one grain heavy meal. Dinner you have light. That's how Ayurvedic principle works. Alright. So, if you look at it, so in Ayurveda, okay, did I answer your question? Okay. So we'll discuss this diet in detail tomorrow with the herbs. Okay. So, going back to this. So, the way you heal the body is by purifying the body. Okay? So, your diet should be purifying, balancing. Okay? Healing the body begins with purifying the body, balancing the prana, connecting to the inner self. So, for example, after you eat your meal, if you feel sleepy, right? Is it a good thing? That means your cells, your nerves are overwhelmed with the amount you have eaten. Right? And then you need to do LSD. Right? Left side dosing. Okay, LSD means left side dosing. Okay. Not LSD. So, you sleep lightly. Correct? Now, if you have eaten heavy, for example, compared to the smaller meals you are talking about, eating one overwhelming meal is also very difficult to digest. So you have to eat balanced. You have to eat according to your hunger. Overeating should not be a regular practice. Because if you continuously overeat, your blood pressure goes high. The more your stomach bloats, the more the body needs pressure to actually hold the food. Most people, like I met one devotee, he was a sailor. They go on boats, like ships. It's a very boring job. And then you are on the boat so long, and then what happens? You have so much food also in the ship. Right? There is so much food in the ship, and they eat all the time. They make good food like manchuri, this, that, all the time. Then when I met him, he was literally walking like this, like you walk on a boat. Okay, this way and that way. And he had severe knee pain. And he was saying he tried so many things, injections, this, that, the knee pain is not going. I said 1 week, don't have dinner. Okay, lose the abdominal weight. 1 week, don't have dinner. Within 1 week, his pain reduced by 70 to 80%. Because the moment your belly becomes big, every other part of your body becomes stressed. Okay? A big belly is not a sign of prosperity. Only Mukesh Ambani can have. Okay? He's getting oil from Russia and he's sending it to Europe. So that's okay. He's getting free money there, but it's not meant for all of us. Okay? Moment your belly goes big, your blood pressure increases, your bad gut bacteria increases. So your diet should be very purifying. Eat foods that benefit you. Okay, Ayurveda says eat foods that match your dosha and digest quickly. The food should not be in your stomach more than 72 hours. Sorry, should not be more than 3 hours. Correct? I remember one devotee, once we had a big, like in India, so there was this Ayurvedic healer. He was amazing. He said, I went to a marriage and everybody was taking first rice, dal, everything. And they were in the ice cream line in the end. I did the opposite. I went to the ice cream first. Okay. He said, after you eat everything, hot foods, and then you eat ice cream on top, the food becomes a desert. Like the actual sand desert. Nothing digests. Right? For digestion is like cooking. I was with Jayadvaita Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, when you eat food, what happens? It cooks in your belly. Right? Agni, it cooks the food. At that time, is ice cream a good idea? It's just like you are making hot tea and you put ice cubes in the pot. Is that a good idea? No, but look at our dietary, this thing. So he said, you eat ice cream, your food becomes dessert, whatever you have eaten. Huh? So one should not drink a lot of cold water, all these things. So your food should be, your diet should be purifying, should be healing. So don't overeat, don't eat the wrong foods that raise your insulin. Okay, what is that? That will it's in my book, so I will talk in detail also. But if you look at it, this is very interesting. Like how many of you eat ice cream? Everybody, right? After food, right? Can we change that habit? So you eat ice cream in the beginning. Let the coolant go first. Then you take hot food. Okay? It is said heaviest thing should be taken first. So that it digests, goes through. Okay? So, connecting to the inner self. After you eat, if you feel overwhelmed, you have overeaten. We sing like, how many of you, we sing Mangalarti, right? Mangalarti, there is a line. Dhyayanstu vamstasya yasyastri sandhyam vande guru Sri Charana Ravindam. Right? We sing. What does that mean? Dhyayanstu vamstasya yasyastri sandhyam. So 3 sandhyam. Morning sandhya, 6 o'clock, whatever, when the sun rises. Then afternoon sandhya is at 12 noon. And evening sandhya, like maybe 6 o'clock, right? Twilight. Those times I will meditate on you. I will be alert. Right? So 3 times a yogi in a day is supposed to chant Gayatri, is supposed to do sadhana, is supposed to be aware. So before lunch he does Gayatri, early morning he does Gayatri, evening he does Gayatri. So he has to be aware, he does Samadhi. Now imagine if you overeat, where is Samadhi? So you are, even after food, if you can be alert. So before alert, you should have a purifying ritual, mantra. And then in the dinner also, you have a evening, you again have a purifying ritual. So in this way, you are always purified. Imagine our routine, right? In Ayurveda, in our Rig Veda, it is so beautiful, the routine. It keeps us always alert. Diet already balanced. It's already there in our scripture. Only thing is because of movement to the cities and getting like moving away from our tradition, we have lost that culture. Okay. Now, we have Panchakosha. Can you see that? Panchakosha, right? I explained this yesterday. So where is the mind? Where is our mind? Everybody remembers, right? It's in the region of the heart. Your mind is in the region of the heart, not in your phone. Right? It's not in the SIM card. My mind is there. Actually, it's true. Today our mind is totally on the phone, correct? Everything is with the phone. But the mind is in the region of the heart. Now, your physical kosha, Annamaya kosha. So, it is said in Ayurveda and Yoga, the healing begins with the. Let me check how much time I have. Okay. So, healing begins with the physical kosha. Right? So, first, what can you do with your physical body? What are the things you can purify with? First is eating. That is why Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yukta Ahara. Imagine he is using the word Yukta so many times. Yukta Ahara, Viharasya, Yukta Chestasya, Karmasu. Right? Yukta. So balance your eating. Okay? Now, in Ayurveda, there is something called Panchakarma. Okay? It is not Panchakarma, Panchakarma. Okay? Pancha means 5. Okay? So first is Vamana. Okay? So I didn't put the picture because it's a bit gross. Okay? Vamana is vomiting. Okay? So interesting thing, my first yoga session in the when I was doing my post-graduation. So it was the day after Gaur Purnima. Okay, that was the day we were having a vomiting session. First, you drink salt water. In Ayurveda also you do, but you do with different herbs. You give milk, herbs and everything, and then throw the excess mucus from the body. For those who have heavy belly, for those who have heavy kapha, sinuses, so then you can do the vomiting. Okay. So when you do that, so you throw out all the cough. So it's called Vamana. Alright? Excess cough. So, for example, those who have, anybody has continuous sinuses? Sinuses, right? Or cold every now and then? Cold? Anybody has? Now and then? Okay. I used to have very chronic. So I started doing that. So what happened was, it was the next day of Gaur Purnima when I went there. And I took out and I did the vomiting. So you have to vomit. In fact, on my YouTube, that is, I have a 3-minute vomiting video. And that has 120,000 views. And everybody is commenting, wow, this helped me, my sinuses are improved. This is yuck. Some people, people comment. But I am amazed that it has got 120,000. This is my highest watched video. So this was actually, I released it during the COVID. One of the things you could do to, reduce the fever. And so that video became a big hit, especially in South America. Okay, comments are from South America. But anyway, so when I vomited, there was a lot of tomato skin that came out. Okay, after I vomited that day. So my professor started chastising me. I know you Hare Krishna people, you have so much tomato chutney. He said, did you know that tomato skin doesn't digest? It is like plastic. Colon cancer, one of the reasons of colon cancer is actually accumulation of tomato skin. Okay, it is like plastic, it doesn't digest. You can see it go out from stool also. So that day I learned you should peel the skin of the tomato before you actually do anything with it. Because it doesn't digest. Even if you make the puree. So even if you make the puree, you have to remove the skin. So Vamana, one of the purificatory, then second is Virechana. Okay. So from your mouth to your anus is one digestive tract. Right? It's like many, many feet long. Okay. Mouth to the anus is one digestive tract. Correct? Anywhere there is a blockage, your whole digestion becomes slow. Anywhere, from the mouth to the anus. Agree? It's one big, giant movement. Okay? So that colon should always be cleansed. Okay? And that is where your gut bacteria is, in your abdomen. And when I did the research on diabetes, so I stumbled upon thyroid, indigestion, colon cancer, all these things. They had one factor in common. What was that? Can anybody say? In all the diseases. Leaky gut. They call the leaky gut. Leaky gut means your colon is damaged. Okay? When does colon get damaged? For example, I'll give you an example. A lot of people eat salads, right? Without making it soft. Like some people eat raw kale, right? So I was speaking to one, I was in Quebec, and I was speaking to this French, Canadian, like French speaking. They were all yoga practitioners. So there was an old lady. So I was telling her, what do you eat? So she used to mostly eat salads a lot. So I told her, you take some rice or ghee and rub it on your palm. Soft food. What happens? Your palm feels good. Now you take a dry salad, okay? You take kale or some dry salad and rub it on your palm. How is it? Rough. So imagine you keep putting rough, spicy, dry foods into your body. What happens? It scrapes your entire digestive system, including your intestines. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says your food should be sattvic, food should be unctuous. In fact, in Bhagavatam, when they address Sutta Goswami, they say you are snigdham. If you have read the verse where they glorify Sutta Goswami, they say you are snigdha. What is snigdha? Snigdha means when you cook rice, for example, after you cook rice, how soft it is, right? So that is called snigdha. In Bhagavad Gita it says, Susnigdha Madhurahara. Your food should be well cooked, that is called Agni Samskara. There is no raw food in Ayurveda. Okay, there is nothing called raw food. Raw food is always rough on your body. Salads with, like we had, with the soft, but with the salad dressing. But not rough salads. Like this, like some people put raw cauliflower in that, or raw kale. So anything that is rough, you eat, it becomes rough inside. It scrapes your digestive system. So when it scrapes your intestines, for example, there is a gut damage. So that also kills your gut bacteria. Okay? Your Agni, your digestion depends on the quality of your gut bacteria. So that is why in Ayurveda, your food should be well cooked. Do you see we offer salads to the Lord? No, we offer something very well cooked, right? Well cooked, Agni Samskara. Because your body has to grind the food after you eat. So when somebody is sick, what do we give them? Khichdi, soups, correct? We don't give them pizza or pakodas. You are sick, today is pakoda day. You don't do that. Why? Because your body cannot grind. Your body's muscles are weak, right? So if your food is already ground, soft, your body doesn't have to grind it. It just digests. So that is what you have to do at night. Night you should not eat heavy, right? But if you eat heavy at night, what happens? Your body has to grind, right? It has to break it down and then it has to push it down. That is why heavy dinner at night does not digest. Until unless you are a super yogi, anything you eat digests. Now challenge me. Okay, that is different. So Ayurveda follows the sun in eating. So sun, morning, how is the rays of the sun? It is soft, right? That is the best time to eat pakodas. No, the best time for light fruits. We have, like in the book, some of you got the book, right? Food for the Soul. So I have chia lemonades. Okay, so like that. You should have some light fruits. Lunch you should have good, and then dinner should be light soups. Okay, so Virechana. So Virechana, what you do is, you take 1 bottle of ghee, and in Virechana, if your gut lining is damaged, okay, so we do what is called as Virechana. So you take ghee on empty stomach, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 ml. Okay, this is something for those who have diabetes, those who have thyroid imbalances. So what we do is we do the ghee detox. Okay, So you take the ghee. What happens is the ghee absorbs all the toxins. Very interesting. The power of ghee. So it absorbs all your toxins and gradually pulls it into your intestine. It accumulates there. So 5 days when you take in fact, we have had issues where, like even my own daughter, but also others I have seen, they had allergies, weak gut bacteria. I dealt with so many kids, young kids, although sometimes with vaccination or some other reason, mercury, metals, your gut gets damaged. So I've seen those cases also. So I recommend this ghee cleanse. So what ghee does, it pulls all the toxins into the intestine. So after 5 days of ghee, so you have khichdi those 5 days, that's it, right? You don't eat anything heavy. You just take simple watery khichdi. And then day 7, you take a purgative like castor oil. Day 6, you just take khichdi with more ghee. So we make the medicinal ghee. And day 7, you take castor oil. So what does castor oil do? It pulls all that ghee that you have taken with all the toxins in your body and cleanses your gut. Okay, and you come out like 10 times you poop or something. You poop it out. But your whole gut lining is massaged with the ghee. Now, your digestion, interestingly, it depends on how much good gut bacteria you have. Okay? Now, gut bacteria is damaged by overeating, eating lot of processed food. Okay? Processed food. You know what is processed food, right? Anything that comes in a box. Right? Cheerio, Choreo, what is this? Biscuit, right? Like the worst food, Parle-G. When we were kids, we used to eat Parle-G. Right after I got diabetes, I ate one. I thought I was going to die. I was checking with my glucometer, my sugar shot up to 350. So high in sugar. It's just the sugar. Then there's one influencer on Instagram. He showed that Indian what is that? Moldova, right? Bornmita. They are all 60-70% sugar. If you look at the ingredients, they add some powder, that's it, and 60% sugar. And kids, they don't realize, like sugar is like instant energy. And after he did that, now you just Google it, it's there. Now they have brought down the levels of sugar and they're actually giving some powder in there. But imagine, we were literally eating sugar. Then Maggi, for example. Maggi is just waste white flour. Right? What do you call that? No purpose flour. Sorry, all purpose flour. Right? Just increases your sugar. Right? Used in everything. Correct? The pasta and all is that no purpose flour. We make pasta for the kids, but we use millet pasta. But anyway, so once you cleanse with the gut, your ghee, so then few days, like 1 more month, you take the ghee, and that's what I did. So the virechana, the cleanse, the ghee cleanse, that's why I started making ghee, herbal ghee and selling. So, because I saw the benefit. So once you cleanse your gut lining, it is rebuilt by there are 2 foods. So when I did research, so there is, when you eat dietary fiber, okay, dietary fiber and butyrates. So butyrates, ghee is butyrates. It produces something called short chain fatty acids. Okay, short chain fatty, SCFAs, you can research this, okay. Butyrate, short chain fatty acids, PubMed, put the search words in Google, you'll find it. So what it does is, these short chain fatty acids induce the good gut bacteria and improve your digestion. For example, you eat some roadside pani puri or something, or some bad food somewhere, Subway or something, right? Thinking it is vegetarian, whatever we eat. Sometimes you get a lot of bad gas. What is that? It is activation of bad gut bacteria, E. coli, right? So it is there. So your body has both good and bad gut bacteria. So the kind of food you eat, it activates that kind of gut bacteria. So when you take like ghee, you take dietary fibers, healthy foods, it activates good gut bacteria. So when I did the cleanse with the ghee, it completely, I was amazed. I was like feeling so light, feeling energetic, and I could digest whatever I was eating. In fact, many diabetics, I took them through. That is in my thesis. This is what I do. First is, before any food will have effect on you, you have to cleanse your toxins. Without cleansing the toxin, no matter you take ashwagandha, brahmi, any herb, any food, many people take vitamins, healthy foods, and they say, I have no effect. I'm not seeing effect. You know the reason? Is because there is a lot of toxins in the body. Okay? So the panchakarma, so this allows the body, swedana, sweating. Okay? And there is also nasya. Nasya means you put, like, for example, this brahmi ghee. For some kids, to improve the brain function, we put this ghee in the nose. Like my son, he had a little snoring. And some, to improve it serves both purposes. You put it in the nose, the snoring goes away, and also it improves the brain. Nasya is a way to directly nourish the brain tissues. Okay? You put that medicinal. And the last one is Rakta Mokshana. What is Rakta Mokshana? Bloodletting. So if you get angry all the time, half of your blood becomes toxic. Okay? Then you put your leg in a bucket of leeches and they leach all the toxins out. Okay? That kind of blood is absorbed. So, but that is not generally recommended. It's not easy. Okay? But Virechana is the easy. Vamana Virechana. Okay? Then also, like today, most of us did the asana. Correct? Wasn't it very systematic? You enjoyed it? Yes. Right? Because I learned that the best way to rejuvenate the body is asana. But then asana everybody is doing. So many people are doing. But then you see those who are doing it right. Right? The breathing is with the diaphragm. Your belly is in, you breathe the prana. So prana purifies. When you breathe deeply, like I said, 40% of your purification takes place with sweat and breath. So this purifies the body. So asana, pranayama. In fact, if you perfect pranayama, no disease will stay in your body. Even diabetes, thyroid, obesity, nothing will come. Because your belly, you have perfected the bandha. You have perfected the lower abdominal strength. Okay. Now the next is, so this is the way you purify the body, how you reverse the disease. Okay, so you have to purify the body. Habits, diet, and purification if needed. Okay, this is how you give the treatment. Then the mind. So many people go to India, do panchakarma, come back and eat the same food. No change. I think somebody asked this question yesterday, right? So there is no change in habits. Okay? So what happens is that if you don't change your habits, like doing panchakarma is good, but the problem that I see in most Ayurveda places or yoga, they just teach you what to do. But I believe in education. You should know what you are doing. You should know your path forward. That's why I wrote the books. Because it is more about self-progress. It's a progress. I'm trying to make progress, not just to get healthy, but health also includes physical, mental, intellectual health. Like we saw the definition of health yesterday. Health is not just some, big muscle. That is not health. I told you already. I'll share the TED talk with Mataji. She may share with all of you. This doctor saying that those who go to gym and all, they die by 65 of heart attack, average age. But yoga people live very long. Okay, by the way, what are the 3 purposes of food? Anybody knows? From the Bhagavad Gita. Anybody done Bhakti Shastri? Okay, not yet. Okay, Bhakti Shastri people. Okay, what are the 3 purposes of food? If you don't nourish, okay. If you don't tell, you have to buy all the ghee, okay. Okay. Nourish, yes. But what is the real purposes of food? Three. Nourish, one of them, I agree. Okay. But that is the third. What is the first two? Energy, nourish, yeah, that comes together. Hmm? Live longer. This is the first. Beautiful. Okay. What the second one? Serve Narayan. Okay, that is energy, nourish. Okay. Because what do you do with the energy? You serve the Lord. Ayusham tejam arogyam. Prabhupada explains beautifully. To increase the duration of life, to purify the mind, and to aid bodily strength. Isn't it beautiful? When I read that, I had a pizza in my hand. I kept it aside. Okay, I'm joking. So the first thing you have to ask, whatever you are eating, you say, does it increase your duration of life? Is it purifying my mind? Am I eating for fun? Like most of us eat for fun. Bhujia. Right? What else? Khakra. Right? We eat for fun. After I ate khakra other day, I was feeling some stone is in my belly. Okay. So basically, if you see, are you eating for increasing duration of life? Am I eating the right food at the right time? Okay. Is it purifying the mind? Is it strengthening your brain cells? Is it strengthening your prana? Okay. And then the last is aid bodily strength. Nourish, what we were talking about. Sattvic energy. Because you get energy with alcohol also. But that is tamasic energy. You want an energy where your mind is strong enough to surrender to Narayana. That is positive energy, sattvic energy. So like I put the mind, it is gigo, garbage in, garbage out. But if you put healthy habits in, so mind is purified by routine. So Ayurveda emphasizes on dinacharya. So in Ayurveda, it's not just about putting ghee into your body, but it is also about cultivating a good routine. Okay? Without a good routine, there is no benefit in Ayurveda. If you want the full benefit of Ayurveda, you have to cultivate a good, healthy routine. Okay? A good, healthy routine. So, mind, you have to get into a routine, you have to get into good habits. Okay? Even if something comes, even if there is a snack, like most people whom I coach in Ayurveda, many of them say, oh, I have this bhujia at home and I feel like eating it. So something is there in front of you, you keep feel like eating it. Don't bring it. You should have it clear in your head. It's anyway palm oil. Okay, it is like diesel. Like I tell people, if you want to eat Indian snack, eat the snack and throw a matchstick in if you want. It will burn. It's that toxic. By the way, Haldiram and all were fined millions of rupees because it had so much pesticide. They put pesticide. They have to put pesticide in those snacks. You know why? Otherwise there will be worms because they put so much sugar. But suddenly that news went away because they paid enough, whatever it was. But if you look at it, those are made with the worst type of palm oil. Okay, so that is why Indian stores there is nothing to eat. Snack. There is nothing. Practically there is nothing. Okay. So such habits can really ruin your health. Bad habits. So get into, I will not snack. I'll focus. I don't want my insulin high. So those who are capable, you can actually do something called as, if you are pre-diabetic or diabetic, you can do something called as a C-peptide test. Okay, C-peptide test, in that it shows how much insulin your body produces. So most diabetics actually have a very good level of insulin, but it's not getting utilized. You know why? Most of them are into snacking. Because your insulin is so high, your body is not able to digest it. Everything should be in moderation. So for mind, to regulate the mind, you need systematic habit. Like for example, when I sit to chant, right? When I sit to chant, I chant. Means I don't do anything else. If I sit to chant and think about everything else, Will it work? No. That 1 hour I have to keep my phone away. I have to keep everything away. I have to just surrender to Krishna. Otherwise, if we watch the phone and we chant, are we chanting or watching? We're mostly watching. When we chant, Krishna is there. But are we paying attention? No. The moment you do something, that's it. It's offensive chanting. So that is why to get that one pointed attention, Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhir Ekeha Kuru Nandana Bahushaka Hi Anantascha Buddhyavo Avasayinam. You don't get the benefit. Okay? So the mind, you have to cultivate the good habits, and intelligence. Intelligence, of course, is strengthened by the senses. Once you get stronger, mind gets stronger with routine, diet, everything. Then the intelligence. Intelligence is strengthened with meditation. Just like you digest your food, pitta, right? Pachaka pitta, agni. Similarly, you also digest thoughts. You also digest thoughts. That is called tejasa agni. Tejas, right? So Tejasa, the Lord is full of Tejas. When Narsimha, they describe full of Tejasa. So what does this Tejas do? It digests your thoughts. So I want a decision, but I have to crunch it in my mind. Right? I have to look at all sides, possibilities, something right, something wrong. What can go wrong? What can go right? Right? So after our success with the Ghee, I got all the results. I got so many people giving testimonials. So now one big company approached. Okay, but we were a small LLC and we were all over the place. So he's like, okay, now you have to get your LLC to, do this, compliance. Right? So what could go wrong? So that was the meeting with the other CEO I was having. Okay. So what could go wrong? So we were, your sales tag, this, that, streamline everything. So when you make a decision, sometimes it feels like, oh, it's taking time, but you have to be able to crunch. Otherwise, like, okay, we just make a decision emotionally. Most of us are doing emotional eating, correct? Yes? आज मेरा मन कर रहा है कि मैं पास्ता खाऊं. Right? But is it good for you? Right? Is it what my body wants? Right? Mind wants. Does the body want? Right? So you have to work with intelligence. Like in my mind, I want to eat everything nice. Every other good thing I want to eat. But can I? No. But I have to eat healthy. So to get that discipline, that is why it is said prajna aparadha. In Ayurveda it said disease comes because of prajna aparadha. Because you are not strongly rooted in your intelligence. Like I'm ready to do it. Otherwise we take it loosely. Right? We take it loosely. Aaj, khalo aaj, Sunday. No, whatever. Right? We take it a little loose. But that's where it comes. A little slip, that's it. Right? Then I did not pay attention. I was speaking to one devotee yesterday. I was really feeling sad. Because he's the festival coordinator. Okay, at every festival he has to do the cooking. And then he takes like lot home because he loves that. And actually he said, I love eating, but now he already got diabetes. So somehow he has to detach from what he's cooking. And all the sweets and all these things, So it's about discipline. Basically, prasad means you just take little for taste and you are happy. You know the story of Rupa Goswami. I think it was Rupa Goswami. He eats like literally 1 spoon of, I'll just check the time. He literally just takes 1 spoon of buttermilk or very little food, right? And one day, he was having indigestion. You know this story. So Radharani came in his meditation and they cooked a big sweet for Krishna. And Radharani was feeding Krishna. And then in ecstasy, she also fed Rupa Goswami. In the mind, in the meditation, not on the plate, but in the mind. Next day, the same day, he got heavy belly. So everyone was shocked. It doesn't have a pot also. What is full? Right? So basically, everything happens in the mind. So if you are disciplined, even if you eat little, the right amount, you are satisfied. We overeat because of dissatisfaction of the mind. So that is why the intelligence need to be. That intelligence comes in Sattva Guna. When Arjuna asked Krishna, I applied this and I realized it is in every field this applies. When Arjuna asked Krishna, why do you commit sin? Why do we commit sin? What is Krishna's answer? Anyone knows the verse? Kama yesha krodha yesha rajo gunat samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidyenam iha vairinam. That rajas, your overeating, your desire to eat passionate foods, right? It comes from mode of passion, right? We should not have passion, we should have compassion, right? Did less. So the Rajo Guna, if you are able to conquer the Rajo Guna, you are able to conquer the eating. And then finally the soul. Every day we should of course have our chanting and surrender. Ultimately all the habits we want to overcome, all the diets we want to follow, everything ultimately comes with Lord's blessing. So every difficulty is an opportunity to surrender more. Okay. Now, I already talked about these airs in the yoga class today, but the air above the chest is prana. The air in the throat, what you use to speak, is called udana. Actually, those who have low confidence, those kids who have difficulty talking, it is all udana vayu imbalance. So if you actually balance the udana vayu, you can talk better, you can talk confidently. The chest, your breathing, energy, right? If you have low energy levels, that means your lung structure is weak, prana vayu. If your digestion is weak, your samana vayu is weak. If your excretion is weak, then your apana vayu sits downward. And vyana means the air which balances throughout. Okay. So in yoga, you balance the prana, the asana and pranayama. If your prana goes to the wrong place, okay, if your belly becomes heavy, large, out, all the vayus are imbalanced. So you don't have the energy, the pranic energy. So you have to purify, strengthen. So that is why I call it Ayur Yoga synergies, because diet is fine, but you have to also strengthen your muscle group, you have to strengthen your prana, you have to strengthen the movement of air or prana in your body. So that is why a combination of Ayurveda, diet and yoga can reverse any health issue. But again, it should be in mode of Sattva Guna, and that comes only with Bhakti to Narayana. So that is why it is also called Bhakti Yoga, Sadhana Bhakti, because ultimately it is to surrender to Narayana, to sing his glories. So you cannot have a whole painful body and chant. Right? It's not easy. So these airs, when you balance. So these are the stages. Today morning, those who attended the class, you will know. So cleansing, I already spoke, all the cleanses we do. Then the asana. So asana, kuryatad asanam, stairyam, your body becomes stable. Right? You are able to sit. Most of you are able to sit properly long. Some of you might get little lower backache when sitting for long like this. Correct? Little. But your back should become stronger. Okay, for that your hamstring should be strong. So asana makes your whole bones, muscles, everything strong. So the next stage is prana ayama, means increase. Prana ayama, increase your prana. Okay, increase the span of your breathing, but at the same time increase the prana. So you can live 100 years, healthy years. Okay, pranayama, then bandha. Like bandha we spoke in the morning, lock. If you are able to hold the abdomen and then breathe. So pranayama only becomes successful with bandha. Okay, bandha and then mudra. So mudra I gave an introduction today, Jnana mudra. Okay, then all the different mudras. Okay, there are there. In fact, I have a book I'll just share with you. So that is on Amazon only. And then mudras. Okay. So there's one more cleanse in the yoga. So that is called as trataka, which can revive your eyes. There are two cleanses. Okay. How many of you have blurry vision problem? Some of you, right? So one of the things you can do is keep a ghee lamp or a candle. If you have ghee, you can use ghee lamp, that is better. 1 hand distance, eye level, and then you stare at it without blinking. Okay? And let the eyes water. So that is called trataka. So what that does is, I had heavy blurry vision because of the diabetes, but with that and the yoga, it went away. So what it does is, it pulls out all your lens becomes opaque. Okay? So trataka. And also at night, you can massage the ghee on the top of the eyes and you can sleep. Because whole day I'm using phone and computer, your eyes begin to burn. So there is a rose hip oil, you can massage the eye, or you can put plain ghee. So I started putting our plain ghee. Actually, I also discovered it. I knew that ghee helps the eyes. I had done some kind of treatment, but one severe case, one person contacted me, they gave some steroids for his nose. Then his eyes started bulging out a little bit, watery, water retention in the eye. So eyes became like, you will be scared looking at him. Eyes was big. So then I gave him eye exercises. I do a whole eye exercise for that. 6-7 exercises. And then I told him to apply we have the cultured ghee. This is like herbal ghee. We have the plain cultured ghee. So every night. Within 10 to 15 days, his eyes size became normal and his eyesight became normal. It was so good. And now he purchases one bottle like every 3 weeks or a month. He eats with that and he also massages. It is so powerful because eyes are Agni Tattva. So ghee actually improves the Agni, fire, Agni. Like just by looking at somebody, you can burn him, right? In anger. The way you look, your eyes can be very powerful, expressive. But you have to heal the eye. So those are the things that I found very beneficial. The other thing is Kapala Bhati. Some people say Kapala Bharti. Okay, it's not Kapala Bharti. It's Kapala Bhati. Don't do it. Okay, especially some people follow that Ramdev's Kapala Bhati. All that. Don't do it. Many of them end up with heavy hernia. Okay. Because until and unless with asana you get your core stronger, your muscles stronger, this will only increase if your belly is weak. And I saw this many years ago. People follow that Ramdev's Kapalabhati and they get hernia. So the asana sequence we did today morning, that's like the right sequence to strengthen your whole body, the Ashtanga primary series. Okay? All right. Then asana should be done with bandha. Okay, this is what we discussed today morning. We practiced also today morning. Asana we did with the bandha, right? With the expansion of the breath. Asana is not exercise. Asana is expansion of prana, ultimately leading to pranayama. Okay. Then, so pranayama, so when in the last semester of my post-graduation in yoga, so people do some pranayama, some slow breathing here, there, okay. But real, actual pranayama, if you want to reverse any disease, for that you have to master the bandha. So basically you pull this in, see this goes in fully, if you see, then you open this up when you breathe in, right? This is fully stretched, back is fully straight, you are sitting in Padmasana, this goes in fully, and when you breathe, then you hold Mula Bandha, you lock the perineum, lock the abdomen, and then lock the throat. So when you are able to lock the three, what happens? If you don't do Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, what happens? Your air pushes downward. It can cause damage. So, but when you are able to hold it perfectly, it heats up. So all your belly fat, all your organs, all the toxins, they are reversed with pranayama. But to get to this point, you have to strengthen the core with asana and you have to have a healing diet. Okay, so that is what I kind of did with my PhD, was that you get the diet for yoga, right? No bhujia, no pani puri, okay, no bel puri. So we eat healthy, light food that digests, and you're always light. And when you do it consistently, your body reverses. So when you do that pranayama, it actually reverses any health issue. So this is the system: cleanse the toxins, get the healing diet, strengthen with asana, and then heal with pranayama. Okay? So this is the main series of steps that you can take. Okay? Any questions at this point? Yes. Okay.
Couple of questions. So one is you talk about raw food not being good.
Mm-hmm.
Does it also include sprouts and things like that?
No, sprouts are good, but sprouts you don't eat raw. If you took my book today morning, so it has sprout like sprout ka sabji or sprout soup. Because what happens is, sprouts, when you eat raw, they are heavy to digest. But when you saute them, agni samskara, they become easy to digest. Okay? So sprouts should always be cooked.
So when you're talking about short chain fatty acids being good for the gut, short chain fatty acids being good for the gut, and it produces this butyrate and stearate, the the common belief is that it's the roughage which is consumed by the gut bacteria which produces that short chain fatty acids, rather than the ghee itself. I want to clarify.
Rather than the?
Rather than the ghee itself. So ghee has some short chain fatty acids, but it's the gut microbacteria when they eat the roughage and when they consume that, they produce the short chain fatty acids.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is, whatever you eat, it attracts that kind of gut bacteria. So if you eat bad food, street food, it already has like E. coli or something. It attracts more E. coli. But if you eat dietary fiber, butyrates with the ghee, another thing about ghee is it also nourishes the gut. Okay? So whatever you need, essential protein, essential fat, right? So it also circulates that in the body. It's HDL. So it improves the gut bacteria. So the butyrates actually feed the gut bacteria. That is correct. And then they produce the short chain fatty acids.
Are they produced by the gut bacteria, or do they feed the gut bacteria?
No, they are produced.
They're produced by the gut bacteria.
Gut bacteria, correct. The food attracts the gut bacteria, and then they produce short chain fatty acids, which in turn then helps all the other digestion.
So what does ghee have to do with that?
Because ghee has butyrates, so it feeds the gut bacteria. And in fact, even ghee, it nourishes the gut bacteria, nourishes the gut. And if you have any leaky gut anywhere, right, it kind of sits there. Second is, ghee is Agni. Ghee is Agni. Agni means it actually improves your digestion overall. Ghee is a self-digester. See, among all the milk products, milk is a little difficult to digest. Yogurt for diabetics is no, because it's heavy. Okay, it has good gut bacteria. That's for healthy people, only at lunch, and no sugar. Okay, the only product which is unique, okay, it has no lactose, that is ghee. Now ghee, what I found was, so yesterday I showed you my picture with the leg behind, right, the yoga. So I was not there. So okay, so for me to achieve that, okay, let me just quickly show you that. So I was doing my yoga. Oh, here. So yesterday's presentation. So this was the last slide. Okay, this was me. So to achieve this, now I have both legs. To achieve this, I went on just ghee and vegetables for like almost a year, the whole series. And I realized that ghee can nourish you more than anything. Okay? Because it's fully fat, but it can also nourish all your muscles, everything. Because Prabhupada explains that Milk, the cow's blood is converted to milk. Now, if you look at the 7 stages of digestion that I explained in Ayurveda, blood is what is converted to muscle, right? So, milk is actually muscle, fat, it is, and a protein, sorry. Milk has a protein score of 1, it's pure protein. But when you go to fat, it has so much power, the ghee. It nourishes all your tissues. In fact, rasa, rakta, mamsa, asti, majja, virya, all the 7 dhatus, even if you take only ghee, it is nourished. Like Sukadeva Goswami used to take only milk and maybe some ghee, that's it. Even when you rejuvenate your body, when you do Panchakarma and Ayurveda, they nourish you with ghee only, ghee and herbs. That's the diet. So that is one of the factors, but it nourishes all your organs and it self-digests. You don't need to do anything to digest the ghee. Ghee is self-digests. Okay? All right. You had a question. Yeah.
In our hometown, we always end up with the yogurt rice.
Yogurt rice. Okay.
Is it good at the end or?
Yeah. Is yogurt rice good? So his hometown is in trouble. Okay. Okay. So, of course, in Ayurveda, you end your lunch with the yogurt. It can be yogurt rice because it's cooling, but yogurt has good gut bacteria. That is homemade yogurt, not the yogurt with sugar. Right? One doctor told me that yogurt is so good that the companies wanted to spoil that also. So they added sugar. Now you have the, yogurt with sugar. Yeah, sugar. Lassi is fine, not the mango lassi. Mango lassi is just fun. Usme kuch hai nahi. You just raise your sugar like a punch. So basically, yogurt is good gut bacteria. In fact, Krishna loves yogurt. Right? Butter, yogurt, Krishna loves. So this is good for lunch, but yogurt is not good for dinner because it cools the body. Your digestion becomes cold, your body becomes cold. At night your temperature is already cold. You want to heat up the body. You don't want cold feet. So yogurt at night is not good. Daytime it's good. Okay? So your hometown is doing good. Okay? Alright, any other quick? Yeah.
In the past, there is a misunderstanding that ghee is causing the diabetes and people trouble cholesterol always.
I've worked with so many people whose cholesterol has normalized with ghee. Cholesterol has improved with ghee. In fact, today morning, I wish I could show. Maybe I can show. Today morning, my cousin is also taking, and he messaged me here. Here. This is my cousin brother. I don't know if you can see. So he messaged me that I was eating Brahmi and visited. My bad cholesterol levels are another feedback for you. So he wrote, my bad cholesterol levels have gone down because of eating the Brahmi ghee, this ghee. Okay? So what I realized was that I did like many days I listened to different podcasts, searched different papers. Here's the simple breakdown if you want to understand about cholesterol. Very simple, but you can explain it for hours, but very simply. Ghee has high omega-3 and a balance of omega-6, omega-3 and omega-6. All your seed oils, they are mostly omega-6, means they are LDL, very small. HDL, which is like omega-3, high oleic acid, so that's what your body needs. And that is what is used for all your brain, endocrine system, it's all communication with cholesterol. The HDL moves through your nervous system, the ghee. The small particles of omega-3 in the seed oils, canola oil, vegetable oil, all these seed oils, they are very small. They get stuck in your nervous system. They get stuck. They cannot travel. They are not big enough. that is called APOB particle level. You can search that. It sits there. It creates a plaque. It injures the nerves, and that's where your heart gets blocked. Ghee has high HDL. In fact, it opens up. If it's at the beginning level, it cleanses it out. So ghee actually clears it if the HDL can pass through. So ghee, I have given to so many people, their cholesterol levels are only improved. Okay? Yes, bro.
I think there is difference between the Nanak ghee.
Nanak ghee, yeah. Okay, I should not tell any brand. But the cheap ghee, like I make this herbal ghee, right? What we buy, the cream, it is the most expensive. Like you can get 1 pound of ghee with 2 pounds of ghee, or Nanak ghee with 1 pound of the butter we buy. Okay, cultured cream. Most of these cheap ghees, like we tried before we started this, I tried making ghee with all the different butters available. Cheap butter, Sam's Club butter, Costco butter, this butter, that butter. But I was working with patients and I found the result with this high quality ghee. Because when you have cows which have only taken grass, okay, herbs, when they are always in the sun rather than, stuck, they are shed without the sun, and then they are milked and the milk is full fat and the butter is not processed with some chemical, then when the ghee comes, with the yogurt, that ghee gives you the medicinal effect. The ones that are industrially done and they give them antibiotics and there's cheap milk, cheap butter, that gives you the exactly opposite effect. Okay, I was in one farm and I was thinking milk is good for diabetes, and every time I drink that milk I used to feel so heavy. Then I realized that the cows were getting some outside grain feed, grain, like that grain mix feed. And that's when I realized that the difference between cows which eat grain and cows which take grass. So to make milk very fast, cheap milk, they feed the cows that grains and all that. Okay, that is the cheap one. You get that $3 milk, $5 milk, whatever. Even the milk I get from that Strauss company is like $10. It's full fat. Yesterday I drank the farm milk. It was so good. Full fat, fresh. Okay. There is a long history. I have a group where I discuss all this Ayurveda. So in that I have described why raw milk was banned in America. It's a long story, but it's all like the way they treat the cows. Okay. So if you take that cows which eat grass, the fresh ones, that milk is good. Okay. That ghee. So that is why the difference between ours and others. Okay. And the herbs we add, we do it ourselves. Me and my wife make it. And we know the quality because we always pray that whoever takes gets healed. Okay? Yes. Yeah, there is also a lot of marketing involved in that. Actually, if the cows are eating grass, then A2, A1, there is equal benefit. Okay? But A2 is a little lighter to digest. So certain cows, variety of cows give the A2 milk. Definitely it is easier to digest, I have seen, compared to A1. But that is only in the milk. Ghee doesn't matter. Okay? In India, mostly people get the buffalo ghee. That's why it's a bit, the taste is not good and the quality is also not good. The ghee you have to make with full fat, full cream, even A2, the milk is, the ghee is different. So ghee needs the high quality cream. Okay? All right. Any other quick questions? Yes, bro. Bye.
I was a little late to the class. I just wanted to ask, are there any still healthy alternatives to ghee? Any like the next best oil after ghee? What would it be?
Next best oil. Ghee is not oil. Ghee is ghee.
But yeah, alternatives.
Yeah. The only other oil that you can use, if not, there is sesame oil. In Ayurveda, sesame oil is recommended, and coconut oil maybe. But any seed oil, so sesame is different, but any other seed oil is injurious to health. Okay, so the only other thing you can do is you should not eat mustard oil or avocado oil, vegetable oil. Olive oil is for cold salads and stuff. It's not for cooking. It doesn't have a high smoke point. It becomes carcinogenic. Hmm? Yeah, it's good for salads. But that too, olive oil also 60-70% is adulterated. So you have to be careful. That's the thing. There is a lot of ghee, but also cheap ghee. Right? Yes, bro. You had a question.
So for cooking and raw, so like when you cook or make, you give heat, right? It's all micronutrients they die. That's why they recommend that to use.
So that is the thing. You should not overcook. In India, we have a problem. We overcook. In the West, they undercook. Right? So cooking should be just right, that the nutrients are there. So when you cook, you don't make it like too fried or too soft, things like that. It should be just enough so that the nutrients are there. Okay? So that is the problem. Once I was hearing from one big scientist, and I was listening to him, Benjamin Bigman, and he said spinach has so much, all vegetables have so much heavy metals. I was like, our very food is saying that has heavy metals, because for them fasting, diabetes reversal means eating protein. That means they eat meat. That's it. We eat vegetables. If vegetables heavy metals, so what I realized was they basically eat salads raw. That's why they get heavy metals. But when you cook them, all that negative effect reduces. That's called Agni Samskara. So you have to cook just right. So that's why I had the cookbook. Okay. I think I ran out. I have some. I'm bringing it tomorrow. Okay. I'm giving them out free. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have 5 minutes. So we have to wind up. And tomorrow we will talk in detail about recipes. Okay. Herbs. I will tell all the important herbs, all the important cooking directions that you will need. Okay, so all that we will talk about. I will also explain my book. I have a presentation. So we will talk about cooking tomorrow. So those who are interested in herbs and cooking, please come tomorrow. Okay. Morning we'll have the yoga class as well. Okay. And those who have booked the appointment, yeah, I have their names. So we can go down, right? Down there is a room on the right, so we can meet there. All right. Okay. All right. If you are not booked, you can book an appointment if you are interested. Okay. It is free. Initially, it's free. We just sit and discuss, and we can make the plan. Okay. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See you all tomorrow.